Today we're meeting with author Steve Kelly, whose book is just being published, Governing the Chaos of Project Management. Hi, Steve.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Would you like to maybe start and talk about why you felt it was important to write this book?
Yeah, so many years ago, I was an adjunct professor at a university, and we kept going over all these different items within a project management class of why things went off rail, why schedules and costs and all that got sidetracked, and all became pretty evident that the risk around chaos and the chaos that came out of all these projects got derailed. So what I did is started capturing all these ideas and all these different things over the years and came up with, I'm going to write a book.
Steve, we noticed that the title has the word chaos, which probably resonates with a lot of project managers.
Yes.
What is the significance of this in the title, and what does it mean to be a project manager?
So over the many years in project management, and not much has changed. 30 years ago, the Standish group went through and they said, okay, what's throwing things off track? How are we looking at risk? About that time, 30% of projects were actually making it on time. Others, 70%, none of them were on time. They weren't on schedule. There's all kinds of risk involved. It hasn't changed over 20, 25 years. We're still seeing that. Even with new Agile and all the new different methodologies and methods out there, they're still going off the rails. It's still going off. So this chaos, this book has helped to develop more from an awareness, from a risk perspective, and as well as kind of giving some ideas of how to mitigate that risk and mitigate that chaos.
Steve, you led a number of projects globally, worked on Department of Defense cybersecurity projects, and recently helped 2 companies achieve CMMI maturity. What would you say is the commonality between all of those projects?
So the common between all of them is really, as you look at it from a risk perspective, you have risk around schedule, scope, just from the overall planning part of it. And all of those go around from a chaos perspective. That chaos is what I call the chaos loop. So you start out with a little small loop when you start with scheduling, and then you build it into cost, and then you build it into your planning, and each one of those produces another chaos. So they all work off each other.
In your book, you reference something called the watermelon experience.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit more in detail?
Absolutely. So years ago at a client, we were talking, and all of a sudden, from an executive standpoint, it's like everything was green on the status report. Scope was green, schedule was green, budget was green.
Which is good, right?
Which is great. Yeah, everything was green and go on the status. It wasn't even amber or yellow, it was just green. And I kept looking at it going, this doesn't feel right. So I went in, I started looking at it, the details with it, the schedule, looked at the cost. And when I got through looking at it and reviewing it, it was red, bright red. So came the term watermelon project, green on the outside, red on the center. And we often see that, people kind of dodge, they don't want to show red, they don't want to show amber. But yet from a leadership standpoint, they need to know that this project's off the rails, it's going sideways. And from that, having this watermelon project status, that kind of opens the eyes to the PMs like, you know what, if you put and make sure that you state what your status really is, people can address it, they can take it forward, they can use that to make it better and slow the chaos down or eliminate the chaos.
Well, Steve, you have a whole chapter dedicated to change management. I know some project managers traditionally think that's on the softer side of skills. Why do you think it's important enough to dedicate a full chapter to?
Well, I've seen many implementations of projects, and they get it all the way up to the end to where it's done, it's implemented, great applications, great user interface, all that's great, but then when they deploy it, there's no change of explaining how to deploy it. So the change management puts the personal side of it into the project. So you're identifying people within in change, how are they going to accept that? How are they going to change their behavior using that application? So bringing that change management into it also helps reduce some of the chaos as you're folding out or rolling out or implementing a program. So from that, it's pretty critical, and I found out over the past 5-10 years of putting in change management in place that it actually makes things a lot smoother and easier to accept, but also gets the leadership involved and all those others involved that need to be throughout the project.
You cover a lot of material in the book. If there's one key takeaway you would like project managers to leave with, what would that be and why?
Yeah, I think, and I start this out in the book and I end it in the book, chaos is going to happen. It's going to happen on every project. I have yet to see one where it doesn't. Everything starts out great, and then all of a sudden the chaos hits, all the chaos loop hits, everything goes out sideways. But make chaos the opportunity. So if you can take that chaos in the front side of it and help build around the risk, understand all the things that are going to be delivered, and reduce that chaos, make that chaos an opportunity to change, make it an opportunity to make things better in the project with the people, with those involved from the leadership standpoint.
All right. And if anyone who's watching this video is interested in getting a copy, where would they go to find it?
Well, it'll be coming out, or it will be out on Amazon.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.